This is another history of the relationship between Japan and Korea. What is the relationship between your country and its neighbor? Are they close? Most of the time, neighboring countries are not very close, although they maintain an important relationship. Japan and Korea have such a relationship. This summer, I got hooked on Korean dramas. In particular, Misang was a very good drama. I thought to myself, why can't we get along with Koreans who can produce such wonderful dramas? I can't help but think that we share the same basic values. In the previous issue, I explained from ancient times to the period when Sheela unified Korea. In this issue, I will explain Japan-Korea relations in the Middle Ages. Japan had diplomatic relations with the Tang dynasty in Sheela, and in 755, after the Anshi rebellion in the Tang dynasty, relations between Japan and the Tang dynasty in Sheela began to change. Japan corresponds to the Nara period at this time. In 759, Sheela sent an envoy to Japan, but the envoy was a very low-ranking official. This angered Fujiwara Nakamura, a powerful man in the imperial court at the time, who considered him unworthy of being a guest of honor. He interpreted this as Sheela's contempt for Japan, severed diplomatic relations with Sheela, and planned to conquer Sheela. He planned to send 396 warships and 40,000 soldiers, but the plan was scrapped due to discord between Nakamura Fujiwara and Emperor Koen. Diplomatic relations were severed, but private trade at the private level continued after the break. In the mid-9th century, Sheela became politically unstable and domestic security deteriorated. Sheela pirates then appeared on the Japanese coast and repeatedly pillaged the country. In addition, many Sheela people left the chaos of Sheela and wished to return to Japan. As Sheela weakened, Korea was divided into three kingdoms, resulting in a period of warfare known as the Later Three Kingdoms period. In 919, Wang Zhen unified the country and renamed it Goryeo. Goryeo wished to establish diplomatic relations with Japan, but Japan refused, saying that it would accept nothing but tribute. As a result, the Goryeo engaged in piracy and raided areas along the Sea of Japan coast. This act of piracy was tacitly approved by the government. In the 13th century, Goryeo surrendered after 6 invasions by the Mongol Empire. The Goryeo advised the Mongols to invade Japan, and the Mongols decided to attack Japan. This is the Mongol invasions of Japan, a series of 2 pirates. I will make a video about the Mongol invasions of Japan. The Goryeo dynasty had to bear an enormous burden of shipbuilding and manpower for this battle. The battle was an overwhelming victory for Japan led by the Kamakura shogunate. Chinese prisoners of war were preferentially spared because of diplomatic relations. However, most Mongolians and Koreans were killed or enslaved. In the Muromachi period, the political situation in Japan became unstable and piracy became rampant. These pirates traveled as far as the coast of China and the Korean peninsula, where they repeatedly pillaged and plundered. The Goryeo could not cope with the attack of the Japanese pirates and lost its domestic centripetal force. The Goryeo was destroyed by the rebellion of Yi Seung-gai, a warrior who had successfully conquered the Japanese pirates, and Yi's Joseon dynasty emerged. The name Joseon was a name bestowed by Ming, the ruler of China at that time. As can be seen from this, Yi's Joseon took the courtesy of being a vassal of the Ming dynasty and became a country loyal to the Ming dynasty. The Yi's Joseon recognized Ming dynasty as the Great China and Joseon as a small China following it, and came to have an electoral consciousness that their status was second only to that of China. Therefore, from their point of view, Japan was a barbaric country that did not conform to the prestige of China. This Chinese ideology continued even after China shifted from Ming to Qing, and the tendency for Korea to view Japan as a lower power continued. Yoshimitsu Ashikaga of the Muromachi shogunate, at the request of Ming dynasty and the Yi's Joseon, strengthened the crackdown on Japanese pirates. Yoshimitsu Ashikaga then chose to be a vassal courtesy with Ming dynasty and become a subordinate state. The Yi's Joseon in Japan, he hoped, would associate on an equal footing. Thus, East Asia entered a period of relative stability. Trade between Joseon and Japan also flourished. Gold and silver production increased in Japan from the Middle Ages and became major exports. This increase in production was due in part to new technology acquired from the Yi Joseon. In the Yi Joseon, the state religion became Chengju school, and Buddhism was ostracized. Japan's shogunate protected Buddhism, and many cultural properties from the Goryeo period in Joseon were exported to Japan during this period. Also, many Joseon-made cotton cloths were exported to Japan. Japan entered the Warring States period, and after more than 100 years of warfare, Hideyoshi Toyotomi unified the nation. Hideyoshi then made a tremendous plan to conquer the Ming dynasty. He asked Joseon to guide him along the way. Joseon, who had the courtesy of being a vassal to Ming dynasty, must have thought what a foolish thing to say. In this issue, I explained the relationship with Korea from ancient times to the era of Hideyoshi. As you can see from the thin content, there was no significant country-to-country relationship with Korea from ancient times until the era of Hideyoshi. With the advent of Hideyoshi, East Asia was engulfed in great turmoil. In the next issue, we will discuss the Japanese invasions of Korea. If you enjoyed this article, please subscribe to our channel and click the like button.